Hi everyone, welcome back. My name is Toluca from Markers and Minions, and I have not done a live video in quite a few weeks. I took some time off for the holidays and had a really nice holiday break. I had all these plans for working on, my TPT store, but I ended up not doing any of it over break. So it was very relaxing, and I didn't realize how exhausted I was from just the last 6 months. So I got to recharge and spend a lot of time with family and get sick and then get better. Then my daughter got sick and got better, and now my husband's sick. But we're starting back at school tomorrow. Yay and boo. And yeah, welcome back. Hi, Elise. Happy 2018. Yeah, I'm not quite ready to go back yet either, but I think, next week I'm kind of easing my way into it. So, which is one of the things I'm going to go over today. I'll show you guys my plan book. I'm not exactly jumping right into Unit 5, Week 1 this week. So I will show you what my plan is for the next few weeks. I approved a whole bunch of people over the last few weeks, so if you're new, welcome to the group. This is my benchmark group. Please read the rules on the pinned post. We have files and photos and videos for you to check out. If you have a specific question, try looking up that topic in our search bar, because a lot of the times the discussion the topic has been discussed at length, and there's a lot of really great things that people have been doing, since the beginning of this school year. Hi, Amanda. Thank you. I got maybe a mild flu. I'm not really sure. I got the flu shot, so whatever I had really wasn't that bad at all. And then my daughter had some kind of vomiting thing the last couple days, and now my husband has a cold. So we all have or had different things. All right. Yeah. So welcome new members. New on my TPT. The last few days I have gotten back to, opening my computer and getting some work done. So I have my writing booklets done for 3rd grade, 4th grade, and as of today, as of 30 minutes ago, 5th grade. Next will be 2nd grade. And I just want to show what these are. These are for Unit 4, Week 3. My students did them. We never got to the last page. Whoops, because I think we did this the last couple weeks before break. But basically, these little booklets kind of walk you through the weekly writing. There's 5 lessons for writing each week, and I have the most consistent ones, the ones that are every week, in the booklets. So they're always going to be analyzing a prompt, and I have them color-coded. So they're looking at the main topic, the type of writing, and then the sources that they're going to be needing for their writing. Finding evidence. Sometimes they have to find evidence from just one source, and sometimes it's 2 stories, 2 sources. Of course, there's always drafting, except for Units 8, 9, and 10. Those are completely different. They're research units. And then this is Lesson 15, which is revise and edit. And the way that I have it designed is so that they're revising, they're taking that skill, and they're just taking one sentence from here and revising it. Instead of revising the entire thing, they're just focusing on one sentence and making it better. And then same for editing, whatever the editing skill is. Sometimes the editing skill is to take a sentence and apply it. Sometimes it's like a checklist. It depends on what that lesson 15 is for that week. There are some, of course, you're still going to want to look at every writing lesson. They're still meant to be taught, because this is not, you can't use this to teach the writing. This is just whenever it says manage independent writing, and the kids have a task and they're working on their independent writing, they can use this. It can all be in one place. And then, so some of the lessons that are unique to specific weeks won't be in here. And then Unit 3, which a lot of us are past, but Unit 3 is different because it's research-based. Same with Unit 6, it looks a little different. And then Units 8, 9, and 10 have one prompt for all 3 weeks because that's genre writing. So like Unit 8 will be, you know, just a narrative or just opinion, just informative. So those look different also. So 3rd, 4th, 5th are done. I also finished, which I'm really excited about, the app design, and my kids did this last year. I did it with my 2-3 combo. When I did do it last year, I was kind of just making it up as I went. The idea was from the inquiry-based project for Unit 5. I can't remember if it's from 2nd or 3rd grade. But the inquiry-based projects are at the back of your TRS under additional resources. And then, in fact, I can check to see if it's 3rd grade. And then it's going to list these different projects. I have a Post-it note. So maybe I took this. This is not an app design. Oh, yeah, I did take this. Okay. So these are projects that connect well to either social studies or science that go well with your unit. I took this one last year. It's Invent the Next Big Thing, and it connects to NGSS. And I guess I read the objective. It says, identify an everyday problem, invent a cell phone app to help solve the problem. So I took this idea and ran with it last year, and the kids loved it. It wasn't just everyday problems, though. They just identified like a need in general. So some of them designed games and things like that too, you know, because entertainment is needed also. And then this year, since I knew what the end project looked like, that looked like in my mind, I created pages to go with it and to help guide you. So I'm going to show you what it looks like. So if you find this, if you download this, this is what you'll see. The objectives, how to introduce it or investigate, the inquiry part of the inquiry-based project, steps to creating, like kind of like brief lesson plans, and then how to present, and then the reflect and the respond piece afterwards. In the beginning, when they're investigating, they're brainstorming, I always include a page like this, a Let's Brainstorm page. I had my kids do it with a team last year, and I'm going to have them do it with teams again this year. And I think they come up with more interesting things that way. They build off each other's ideas. Then they have to, once they brainstorm and they identify a need or a problem that they want to address, they have a planning page. So I cut one out. And they have to kind of just write what their initial plan is, kind of present this. I had my kids present it to the class last year. So that it was like their initial pitch, like, we're thinking about doing this. And then the kids either went, yeah, or eh. And then we kind of gave feedback, just verbal, informal feedback. And then it was approved or denied. From there, once they are sure of what they're doing, they have to write a business plan. I always have my kids write business plans every year for whatever. Like one year it was Valentine's Day, and I had them selling stuff at school, and they had to write business plans and be really official, professional. And then I've got like labels for everything. So I have my kids do this on a trifold, and it's neat because they'll set up their trifold, their presentations, and then I have other classes from our school actually come in and walk through our classroom, like a gallery walk, and listen to my students' pitches. So we invite them in, and in different time slots, I think it was like 10 or 15-minute time slots, and the kids just pitch like on a loop, kind of like Shark Tank. So they have these poster boards. It's also available as a Google Slides presentation if you wanted to make it digital somehow. So we've got the app logo and the name. And this is all the following things are meant to be cut out and put on the trifold. They've got their slogan, they decide how many stars they got, and then a sample review. And then whenever you open an app, I always show them this part. Open any kind of app from the App Store, and you'll see that there's all of those things that I just showed, and then there's like this information section. It's like a table. So they fill out their table. They have to write a description, like what you read before you download it. And then there's always this part. And my colleague, she looked at this and she was like, why didn't you design a whole phone? And it's because, look what apps look like. Okay, let's just go to any app. NBC Sports app. Okay, let's see if that works. Okay. Wait, no, come on, load. Let's do like a Facebook app. Okay, well, on some of these, it's not working now. What about MyFitnessPal? 2018, woo! Okay, here we go. Here's an example. On some of these, you look down at the preview, and it shows what the app looks like on your phone screen. So that's what I base this off of. Preview pages. The cost, a brief why you need this app, including like the problem or the need and the solution, and then your target audience. And then I made this little patent. They have to apply for a patent. This took me 1,000,000 years to make. Oh, I didn't make the eagle, but like this part was something else. Okay. So that's my app design, and then I completed it all as a kid, and so I have pictures of that and what it looks like. And I used an example from last year. My kids came up with an app called History Go. It was right after Pokemon Go came out, and I thought their app was genius. So I used that as an example. Okay, that's what's new, and that's what's up for Unit 5. All right. Hi, guys. My computer's frozen, but I know you're there. Okay, so next week, I'm going to show you what my plan book looks like. I went in on Thursday and planned with my partner, and we are not going to jump into week 1 right away. So here's my ELA block. We're going to be doing like New Year's resolution things. We're going to have a class chart where I talk about 2017 reflections, 2018 goals, ease our way back into like rules, procedures. What did we not do so well in 2017? What can we do better in 2018? So that's really like the first 3 days. I'm going to have them do this quick writing thing to write about a 2017 highlight. We're going to update our growth mindset poster. And then on Thursday, we're going to start, and some MLK stuff. And then Thursday, we're going to start with introducing Unit 5. I'm going to post the pictures that I have for the vocabulary file cards. I'm going to post those around the room and do, my usual observation task where they go around and they have a vis-a-vis marker with a partner, and they're just kind of looking at pictures, talking about it. And then I have the 3 guiding questions. I have pictures of this in my Unit 5 album on our Facebook group. But last year I wrote out 3 questions that I believe I got from the TRS. And they are just kind of reflection questions to get them started, and I just hand wrote it out on poster board and then displayed it somewhere, and then the kids, yeah, it's these ones. So it's lesson 1. I just skipped all this and then did this part. So I posted these questions. How has technology changed my life? What technological innovations have happened in my lifetime? And are there negative aspects about technology? So I posted 3 posters, and then the kids had to choose one, I believe, and write their response on a Post-it note, and then just go put it up on the poster, and that stayed up for the whole unit. That last question, are there negative aspects about technology, was really interesting. A lot of the kids went for that one, and they talked about how like parents don't play with them anymore because they're always on their phones. So sad, but it really got them thinking about the pros and the cons and what technology is and the impact it has on our lives, day-to-day lives, which is what Unit 5 is all about. So we're going to do that. And then I have a big book from Kinder. So I don't think there's any Kinder teachers that watch these, but if you're a Kinder teacher, you have a big book, and it's called, you might have, it's California, maybe if your district purchased it, I don't know. But there was one that I snagged when they came and when Benchmark came and pitched our district. They gave us materials to look at. And I went over to the Kinder section and I was like, I really like this book, big book. Can I keep it? So it's like technology then and now, or past and present, something like that, where it shows just, it's compare and contrast, like a playground back then and a playground now, or, you know, it's cute. So I'm going to read that. And then I created this little engineer's log where it's just a booklet, and I can put that up for anyone who wants it for free. It's just a booklet where every time I teach a lesson, I want them to write like a reflection or 3 things I learned, and then draw a picture, something I learned that day. So it's just a little log. We have open house coming up earlier this year in March, so I want to have as much student created materials as possible that I can put out for open house. So I've got these little booklets. They're kind of cute. And then for the intro chart, this is what it's going to look like. I think I have a picture of it on the group, but let me pull it up. Yeah, here it is from last year. So it has a light bulb in the middle. Inventors, innovate is the verb. Ignore all the stuff that I pasted on there afterwards, the pictures and stuff. There's 4 corners. One is the problem. I'm prepping this Tuesday, by the way, so if any of you guys, I'll take a picture and then you can like trace it on your whiteboards too if you want. So first thing I have is the problem. The next category is the impact, or the solution. Then I've got characteristics of innovators. That's where we talk about persistence and strong-willed, creative, words like that. And then the very end, like a cycle, after the problem and the impact, other inventions it leads to. Because we'll be reading about how inventions have been improved upon throughout time. You know, how the how things, yeah. I mean, look at this iPhone, right? So we talk about how innovation leads to more innovation, and it's a cycle. Kathleen, do you have a video or pictures for introducing Unit 4, 4th grade? I don't teach 4th grade, but I have a Unit 4 album uploaded on the Facebook group, so you can look there to see about any of the things that I did to introduce it. It was all about point of view, so we made a point of view chart with like eyes, sunglasses in the middle. And I don't think I recorded that, but there are pictures. Okay, so there's that unit overview chart. intro chart, and then I just have them doing, after I do that intro chart, I'm having them do their engineer's log. So write down 3 things they learned from the chart. The week after is when I'm starting week 1. So you guys ready to plan? So we're drawing this out big time. Like I said, we've got open house in March. So we're going to be doing lots of student created things. I'm going to connect art to this. We have our app design project. We also do an inventor project where they need to research a famous inventor and then present it, and they have to create a replica of the invention. I also have them do a Google Slides presentation just for this unit, and it's usually just like simple, like an autobiography, something cute that'll look good on the walls, to tie in more technology. And then what else do I do? There's some really good stories in here. We have Alexander Graham Bell, and there is From Telephone to FaceTime, so the cycle of innovation. Now, this timeline here last year, I took this, my colleague and I, and we found a whole bunch of other cool inventions. We blew this up on butcher paper, and it went almost wall to wall. And we put all of these inventions, plus we added all these other ones with like brief descriptions, and we had the kids come up and put things up, and we focused on the cause and effect, the problem, and the impact for each invention. So that's this long timeline. Show you that too. Here I was starting the timeline last year. Whoa, glare. So see, you can see it stretched all the way. And then we added things. So we had like this steamboat and bifocals. And that, here are the questions that I was talking about, those reflection questions down there. Oops. Here's a replica. Here's a replica of like when they do their inventor project and they have to recreate it. The pictures, the observation pictures. And then their inventor project, she used Google Slides for her inventor project. And the other stuff we'll get to when we plan the weeks. All right, so let's look at these. I've got my template. This is free on my TPT. I'm just using this one today, not going into the weekly planners. And then I always like to print off these presentation pages. This is 3rd through 6th, your view. This is what you're going to see when you go online, you open the weekly presentations. You'll see all of the lessons in order, 1 through 15. It's the same lessons as the TRS, but the weekly view on the TRS has the lessons categorized by story and topic. I just kind of like to look at this for some reason. We can open both and use both. This is the other place to look. Week 1 mini lesson, or no, we're doing the unit. So this one. These are all the close reading skills. Word study is spelling, writing, language is grammar. And the language lesson is embedded, normally always in the writing. Okay. Unit 5. And I'm doing 3rd grade. Probably going to have to not skip or Probably gonna have to do them in my whole group lessons, the lessons that are key details and main idea, since we've been out of school for a while. I'm gonna bring those back. So week 1, we've got for close reading skills. We're gonna go this way. Looks like we've got lesson 2. We've got lesson 7. 10, I think. Let me look here too. Yeah, 10. And I'll hold this up in a sec. 13. I'm using this to cross-reference. 14 is your Friday lesson where you're comparing the text. And then I think I'm missing one. Number 4, yeah. So these are our close reading lessons for the week, using our 2 short reads. 2nd grade, you've got shared reads. Those are teeny tiny little stories that come before your weekly text. That's good for fluency and, phrasing and spelling and things like that. 3rd through 6th, we don't have those. Week 1, we've got 2 shared reads. That's it. So our skills are key details and main idea, because this is a nonfiction unit, so it's not going to be the key events. We've got text connections, review text connections. Should put the lesson number. This is lesson 4. We've got more key details. We've got author's purpose. This is direct quotations. I'm just going to write author's purpose. That's lesson 10. Text and graphic features. Love those. They're usually nice and short. That's lesson 13. And then we've got that cross text, the compare to text. Which is lesson 14. That's week 1. Okay, let's go horizontally. I'm going to go to week 2 in the TRS to cross-reference. Hi, Erin. Okay, we've got more key details, main idea. That's going to be lessons 3 and 5. Cause and effect. Oh no, that's writing. Number 6 is real life. Lesson 6 is real life connections between words and their use. Okay, we've got more author's purpose. We've got use illustrations to support comprehension. Analyze sequential text connections. Oh, there's a lot. And then the last one's the compare contrast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have our spiraling key details and main idea again. Lesson 3 and 5. real life connections between words and their uses. I'm just going to put the connection symbol between words and uses. Okay, that's what that means, that little infinity symbol, connections between words and uses. That's lesson 6. Author's purpose. I'm going to put a little spiral. I think that might be similar to week 1. Don't really know yet, but I'll put a spiral. It's lesson 8. Use illustrations. It's kind of like they use graphic features sometimes. And we've got sequencing. Wait, analyze sequential text connections. I'm just going to write sequencing. And then we've got that comparing lesson again. Okay. Here we go. Erin says this sounds really different from 5th grade. Uh-oh. It's like unit 3. 5th grade was like so different than the other grades. Okay, week 3, we've got our key details, main idea again. That's lessons 3 and 5. Same topic, but much different skills. Do you have your TRS? What are some of the skills for unit 5? I don't know if it's because I haven't planned in so many weeks, but I'm reading these skills and I'm like, what? These aren't familiar. Some of them, like the using illustrations, key details, things like that. But some of them, I'm like, what? Analyze cause, effect, and sequential text connections. Lesson 8. Draw inferences. Lesson 11. All right, cool. We can do that. Lesson 11. And then we've got our compare lesson. Is there anyone watching that is not in California? Because there are so many variations. This is obviously the California version. Where are you reading from in the TRS? I'm using these pages, and then I'm kind of glancing at the TRS, these pages. The weekly mini lessons. Just to make sure, sometimes this, okay, the reason why is because sometimes this says close reading, and I know that's a comprehension task. But some of them, let me find an example. Review, like look at this one, lesson 4, review text connections. Like, okay, are they doing that when they're reading? Is that a writing thing? So then I'm kind of looking at this and seeing if it falls under one of the stories. Because if it falls under a story, it's a close reading task. Hi, Kathy. So Kansas is probably going to look a lot different. I noticed that even when I was making the writing booklets today for 5th grade, there was one writing prompt in Unit 10 or something way later, and it was about California and our drought. And I thought, this is probably just the California edition. So I think even in, in writing and in grammar and spelling, there's so many variations from state to state. So just keep that in mind, friends. All right. So this is what my close reading skills looks like for Unit 5. So Erin says 5th grade, problem solution, respond to poetry. Oh, nice. You probably don't want to skip that lesson because poetry doesn't come up a lot. Read with expression. Supporting details with citations. Poetry features with analyzation. Oh, that'll be so fun. I wonder what text you're using. Hi, Elena. Hi, Toluca. Was benchmark written to go in order, unit 1, 2, 3, etc., or can you jump around? The units get harder. So in our district, we're allowed to mix up units, but only in sections. So in the beginning, the first trimester, it's 1 through 3. We can do it in any order that we want. And then the second trimester is going to be, the second trimester is 4, 5, 6, maybe 7, and then that can be in any order we want. And then the last trimester, it's the last ones. But I always go in order. I've never done it not in order. But I only spend 3 weeks, like unless it's a unit where I say like, I'm drawing this out, I love this, I'm gonna connect science, I'm gonna do art, all this other stuff. Sometimes I'll do that for certain units, but otherwise I'm just spending those 3 weeks and I go to the next unit even if I don't finish all the lessons because so much of it does spiral, but yeah, the rigor will increase. Okay, so Elise, excuse me guys, these are these ones, right, where I printed these. If you're online, click on your grade and your unit, and then you'll see a section to the right that says weekly presentations, and you'll see week 1, week 2, and week 3. And this is going to be the first page in that weekly presentation. The weekly presentations has all of your graphic organizers. I often see people saying like, oh, we need to create so much. All of the charts that are referenced in the book, the graphic organizers, are available in the weekly presentations online. That's been in my experience. There's little graphic organizers and charts and, all the objectives and all that's there. And this is the first page. So I always click on print to PDF, it makes it nice and big, and then I just print off the first page, and then I go to week 2 and I do the same thing, and then week 3. And then I just use this to plan. I don't know how I started. I probably started planning with just these so that I wouldn't have to lug the TRS around. Now obviously this doesn't go into detail, like you're gonna wanna preview your lessons first, but to just map out your weeks, this is helpful. And this is the view that you'll get for grades 3 through 6. Grades K to 2, you're gonna see like a day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, because that's how the TRS is organized for K through 2. It's by day, and then for 3 through 6, it's just by week. It's just 15 lessons a week. So, Erin, the poems about the Industrial Revolution, with poetry focusing on the day in the life of, and then a piece of technology. Huh. That's interesting. You're welcome, Nina. I like the weekly suggested pacing page in the TRS too. So the weekly suggested pacing page, is it this one that you're talking about? This also has your vocabulary and spelling at the bottom. And then you can look at this page too. This is all your skills and strategies mapped out. This is online also. In fact, I'll use this right now for the rest of the sections, the spelling and the grammar. the language. Right behind that, let me see. Next page, maybe? Like this one? This big page? Or right behind the weekly? Oh, okay, I see. This one. This pacing guide for your 3 lessons a day. So the way that it's spaced out is there's going to be a close reading lesson, there's going to be writing, and then word study every day. So there's those three lessons. And then K through 2, you have a few more lessons here because of like, I don't know, fluency, high frequency words, I think stuff like that. So you have more than 3 lessons a day, but they're probably shorter. Okay, let's go back to that insert and look at the word study. So VCE is week 1. Syllable. And then we've got vowel R syllable pattern. And then week 3, inflectional endings. And I'm just going to cross-reference with this. Sometimes I find little discrepancies. Inflectional endings, ED, ING. Okay. Then the language skill. I'm not going to look at that. I'm going to look at the actual lesson. Okay, week 1. It's going to be in lesson, let's see, lesson 9 maybe? Nope. Okay, it looks like lesson 11 has a build language focus. So this is what I'm looking at. It's helpful to cross-reference the spelling, grammar, and vocabulary, which is a consumable that some districts purchased. It's what's in those pamphlets that I have since we didn't purchase those. There's a skill for every week in that. And like for some reason, like, okay, here's lesson 11, and then you're going to see on the second page, build language, pronoun, antecedent, agreement. But then you look here, is it here? Oh yeah, it's here. Pronoun agreement. So you sometimes have to dig a little bit for the language. Pronoun antecedent agreement. You just finish this, then I'll hold it up, and then I'll go back and I'll read stuff that I didn't see. So what it says here. Irregular verbs and use coordinating conjunctions for week 2. There's 13, I think it's lesson 13. Okay, lesson 13, the build language says form and use irregular verbs. And I think that it has both, use coordinating conjunctions, because that is the revising focus, lesson 15. I'm just going to write the irregular verbs one. And then week 3 is going to be lesson 13 again, I think. Usually in the drafting lesson. Irregular verbs again. All right. Here's what I've got. Okay, the writing. Week 1 is a narrative. Week 2 is an evidence-based essay, so informational. So that means week 3 is opinion. There are some vocabulary focuses. Lesson 5 for week 1 is context clues. I don't see one for week 2. And then week 3 is lesson 6, context clues. All right. There we go. Do your kids really finish the writing every week? No. Look, here's, even with these booklets to help me stay on track. We're off to a good start, strong start. Yay, oops, didn't have time. There's never really a week, and I shouldn't say never, but I don't think there's ever weeks where I finish everything. I just can't. There's stuff I'm gonna have to skip, or stuff I'm gonna forget about, or stuff that's gonna be, condensed. Yeah, sometimes they just don't finish. They do finish their drafting every week. I will say that though, because that's what they're doing in their small groups. So they have a dedicated 30 minutes of their time just alone without me, and they're working on their drafting. In this case, I didn't get to lesson 15, the very last lesson in the week, which was the revise and the edit. So tough. Oh well. Yeah, no, Amanda, you're definitely not the only one. I don't know if anyone actually does every lesson, gets through every lesson. I, for one thing, don't have the time block that's suggested for all of this stuff. Mine's much shorter. So I have to pick and choose stuff. That's why I do things like this, plan out entire units, and then being in year 2 definitely helps, because you see what's going to come back, what's not, what I definitely need to hit. And then it depends on the kids too, what they need. What about unit long writing? I always finish that. I do. So unit 2, we finished fables in addition to like the weeklies. I actually think we wrote a fable. I think that was one of the prompts for the weeklies, and I just stretched it out. Every kid finished that. Like we went through the writing process. We brought in our step up to writing stuff, and they published, and it was on the wall all pretty. Unit 3, they did animal reports. They researched, they did from start to finish, published. And then unit 4, they did the 3 little pigs unit that I always do, which is not connected to, I mean, it's connected to benchmark kind of because of point of view, but it's something I do every year anyway. I was doing it way before benchmark, and it fits very nicely with unit 4. So I do a whole separate 3 little pigs versus the wolf unit, writing unit, and that's in the afternoons. That was in the afternoons. So I finished that. And unit 5, we will do what's our writing? Our unit long writing, I think, is going to be our Inventor Project. You're welcome, Elena. Have a good week. Yeah, 4 weeks, which is, it's much more manageable for people to stretch it out over 4 weeks and do, like, spend that 4th week doing the unit assessment, breaking that up, and then doing inquiry-based projects, things like that. But in that 4th week, I am not doing any more lessons. So when I said that earlier, that I only spend like 3 weeks on a unit, like I'm doing 3 weeks of this stuff. And then if I have that 4th week of time, then I'll bring in a project or like just finish up writing and assessments, and, central question, like tying up the loose ends and stuff. If I'm not stretching the unit out over a really long time. But if I do this for more than 3 weeks, I'm gonna like kill myself. The unit assessment takes us 2-hour-long sessions. Yeah, it's really long. For unit 3, we didn't give it for unit 4. And for unit, I can't remember why. And for unit 3, we shortened it. We did it mostly just the writing. Yeah, I think just the writing. The weeklies are much more manageable. All right, guys. So I think that is everything. Next week, I don't know what I'm talking about yet. I might jump into the weeks because I'll be starting that following Monday with week 1. So we can touch more on like the unit 5 introduction, the overview, and all the extra fun stuff we're doing. And then we can start mapping out the weeks. Okay. Amanda, when you mentioned Inventor Project, was that app group project you just uploaded for Invent the Next Big Thing? Okay, so these are 2 different things. Now, Invent the Next Big Thing, is that what it's called in here? The inquiry-based project? Yes, that's where I got the idea. Invent the next big thing. And then, so what I uploaded, the Design Your Own App, is taking this idea and just adding a ton of stuff to it. Yeah, because this says, have them come up with a problem to solve with an app, name your app and write a description, how it will help and how people will use it, and then create a poster. So I took that concept and I added a whole bunch of stuff to it. Now the Inventor Project is when I have the kids they research an inventor, and at this point we're doing it, it's a take-home project. Yay, sorry parents, but they're gonna be researching an inventor using, the researching is gonna be in our computer lab time and our Chromebooks and then our own school library, but they're gonna have to do a lot of it at home, and they can come up, I usually just say, I'm very like UDL in these projects. I say like, come up with some sort of visual representation, you know, Google Slides, or come dressed up as that inventor, or create something. But the requirements for this Inventor project that I did last year was some kind of presentation plus a, like a replica. So they have to build whatever their inventor invented. And then that, I think, is what we'll do our writing on too. Our unit long writing, probably do an informational piece where they're writing about their inventor, like a biography kind of thing. So I hope that clarifies the difference, Amanda. Oh, hi, Christine. I didn't know you were in here. I met two women at my nail shop today, and we were all talking about me, and how helpful this site is. Thank you. Have a great week. That's so cool. Tell them I say hi. Chase, where will we find the engineer's log? I can upload that. I'll upload that tomorrow. How about that? It's just a really simple booklet that I made. It has a little glossary on the back too, I think. Yeah. And then let me just show you some of the stuff that I saved from last year. I forgot I brought this home. Oh yeah, this was a cool Time magazine's current. But then I started flipping through it, and it's like talking about breast pumps and stuff. So I don't know how much of that I'm going to use. But this might be fun to maybe cut out pictures and put on charts or whatever. Maybe on the timeline. Let's see. Oh yeah, we'd get like, what is it, 11 by 17 poster board, and fold up the bottom like a folder, and then fold it in half. So it's like the kids have their own folder, and then I just glue this on the front. This is just stuff I found off of Google last year, like Edison and Ben Franklin. And then they keep all their engineer's log, all the stuff that they make for this unit. They keep it in there, and then that's what I display at open house. That's one thing I used last year, and I don't have that digitally anymore, but it's an idea. Oh yeah, last year, so this is the weekly presentation pages that I was talking about. Last year I had a combo, so I would make these booklets. So like this one was for 3rd grade, Unit 5, Week 2, and then any of the lessons that I was doing, I put them in, and I made them in these booklets, and then with all the charts and stuff. So I know some of you are doing that. This took a lot of time, but it kept me sane with my combo in my first year of Benchmark. Oh, that was stupid. This was something else that I had for app design. I just looked at like another project, I guess, and got some other like guiding questions that you can use to question the kids. I have this. So that's right. In small groups, we pulled from all the grade levels. We pulled like Jacques Cousteau from the 1st grade set, Carver from the 2nd grade set. 3rd grade, we had like Ballard. There's something about Jonas Salk in the leveled readers, and then the small groups. So I had my different groups, and we tied that back to our intro chart. So anytime we learned about a new inventor in our small groups, we tied it back to the intro chart, where it was the characteristics of the person, the problem, the impact, and then other inventions it led to. By the end of the unit, they had learned about so many different inventors. After each small group learned about a different inventor, they kind of just like presented it to the class briefly, just so that other kids could get exposed to the inventor and the inventions they made. And I have a picture of a chart that I have up there where we have all the inventor is listed on one side, and then we have problem, characteristics, problem, impact, other inventions, and we just made like a grid. So this was a quick test I made. This is way simpler. It's not a reading strategies test. It's just a technology and innovation test. So I can find this. I made this on my old computer, but I'm pretty sure I have it like in emails and stuff. So I can post this also if you guys want it. So you explain the cycle of innovation, problem, impact.
I'm glad I could help.
I wasn't talking to you, Alexa. Scary. Speaking of technology. There's something about Thomas Edison that's specific to 3rd grade, I think, because we talked about him in one of our readings. A timeline question, so I can share that too. That's it. That's what I got. So I hope this helps, guys. This is a really fun unit. The kids really get into it, because technology is life, so. All right, so unless there are any more questions in the next minute or so, I am going to sign off and start cleaning up, and I'll wait. I'm gonna have my app design. It's on my store for $10. I'm changing it to $12 later on tonight. I really have to grade these. It's fun to make stuff like this and then have the kids complete it. But the grading part, I brought all of it home for break and didn't even think about it. All right. Okay, I'm not the only one. Thanks, Amanda. Thank you, Kathleen, Nina, Kathy. Have a good week. All right, guys. Start your grading, Amanda. All right, I will post throughout the week, probably after Tuesday, my prep period day with my charts and my engineer's log. If I don't get to it tomorrow, I'll try to get to it by Tuesday. And just stuff like that, that test if you guys want it. All right, enjoy the rest of your Sunday and hope that your transition back to work is easy and that your kids are all nice to you. Bye, guys.